on our very first date? Is it cool if I hold your hand? Is it wrong if I think it's lame to dance? Do you like my stupid hair? Would you guess that I didn't know what to wear? I'm just scared of what you think. You make me nervous so I really can't eat. Let's go, don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, let's make this night last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever. When you smile, I melt inside. I'm not worthy of a minute of your time. I really wish it was only me and you. I'm jealous of everybody in the room. Please don't look at me with those eyes. Please don't hint that you're capable of lies. I dread the thought of our very first kiss, a target that I'm probably gonna miss. Let's go, don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, let's make this night last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever. Let's go, don't wait. This night's almost over. Honest, let's make this night last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever, forever and ever. Let's make this last forever.
Whoever you are, wherever you're from, whatever you believe, and whoever you love, you're most welcome here today. My name is Sandy Geddes, and I'm a registered marriage celebrant in Scotland, and I'll be conducting Scott and Gillian's wedding ceremony. Scott and Gillian have chosen a humanist ceremony in order to celebrate their commitment to each other, because they think it best represents how they feel. Humanists, like me, endeavour to live a life that is both ethical and meaningful. I believe we can live morally rewarding lives without the need for religion. However, we hope that each and every single one of you, whatever your beliefs, will enjoy their ceremony. In writing much of the ceremony themselves, they hope to express more profoundly their love for each other and their appreciation of you, the people most important to them. The ceremony itself is intended to be relaxed and formal so that we can all enjoy the experience and make it truly a day for Scott and Gillian to remember for the rest of their lives. So, Scott and Gillian, this gathering is made up of people who've played important parts in your life. They're your family and they're your friends. They're the roots of your life that have helped create the people that you've become today. So as you speak the words that will unite you in just a few minutes' time, remember all of them here today. Because by their presence, you know that in good days and bad, you'll never ever be alone. I was delighted to be asked to conduct this wedding ceremony. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you all here to celebrate and witness this marriage. And also to enjoy the lovely and unique surroundings here at the Radstown Hotel for this very happy occasion. And so to these two who stand before us. They're not two new individuals coming together, but they're two individuals strengthening their bond, celebrating a continuing partnership, celebrating their love for one another, and celebrating the life that they share together. But how did all this come about? Well, I'm about to tell you. As with all good love stories, this one has its beginnings in a time long, long ago. In 2007, to be precise, when our lovebirds here met each other in the company of mutual friends, after which they used to exchange pleasantries when their paths crossed, but nothing more at that stage. And it was not until several years later, in 2013, that they started chatting with each other. They spoke for several weeks and both liked what they heard and saw in each other. So much so that they arranged to go on their first date to that well-known place for love and romance, Chiquitos. But Scott's piece de la resistance after a meal was to take Gillian to play mini-golf at Escape. He certainly knows how to treat a lady. They then went on to enjoy a great evening in each other's company. And needless to say, their first kisses were exchanged that night. Thereafter, they started dating regularly, and they've been a couple since. They moved into their current home in December 2017, and have lived a blissful existence since. Now, as couples do when they see their future together, they talked about getting engaged, and they had talked about getting married. But Scott told me that there was never any pressure put on him by Gillian to propose. Although she did send him photographs of engagement rings that she liked, and those that she certainly didn't like. Scott had already threatened Gillian with the occasional retort of, "You'll be getting a rubbish ring." However, they had planned to go on holiday to the US in 2019, and Scott, being the gentleman that he is, asked Gillian's parents for permission to propose while there, and both were delighted to give it. Scott also bought a ring a couple of months prior to their trip, with a little help from Gillian's sister, Leanne. And so, to the 5th of October, 2019, Gillian's birthday. And they were now on holiday in the US. They intended visiting San Francisco, Los Angeles, and Las Vegas. But the ring was beginning to burn a hole in Scott's trousers. And he was very, very keen to rid himself of the responsibility of looking after it. Their first stop was San Francisco. And a couple of days after arriving, they visited the famous Colts Tower, which is at the top of a hill and affords spectacular views of the city below, particularly Little Italy. Scott decided that, given the great vista below them, there was no better place to propose, and he set his plan into action. He told Gillian to turn away from him, and he would set up his GoPro camera and join her, so that he captured a picture of the two of them looking out over the city. Gillian duly turned round, and a few seconds later, she felt a tap on her shoulder. On turning back round, she saw that Scott had lowered himself onto one knee and was presenting the open-boxed, sparkling engagement ring towards her. Scott then said the immortal line, "Gillian Sheila Downey, will you marry me?" Gillian was taken completely by surprise and immediately clasped her hands to her face before she gave an emphatic yes in reply to the question. The ring was then put on her finger, where it has remained since. They then waited a short time due to the time difference before they contacted their family and friends to tell all of them the good news. And it didn't take them too long after that to start organising this wonderful day for all of you, their closest family and their closest friends. And it's evident from my first meeting with them that Scott and Gillian have been lucky enough to find such a sincere, honest, trusting and loving relationship. There is a feeling that both have found their other half. There's definitely a spark between them which I think brings out the best in each other and is certainly on display today. Now, as is my way, I asked Scott and Gillian to write a few sentences about what is still the attraction of the other after their years together, and I asked them to keep their comments secret from each other. So they've not heard the comments I'm about to recite, and like you will be hearing them for the very first time. Gillian said of Scott, "With Scott, I have found my perfect counterbalance. He's laid back, glass full attitude calms and grounds me whenever my glass is half empty. Scott's kind and friendly nature and the loyalty he has for those closest to him is admirable. I can count on him for anything, and I know he will never let me down. I am a better person with him by my side. When thinking about our happiest moments, it isn't the big ones I think of first. It's our everyday normality. Each night in the kitchen cleaning up, I'm telling him to turn off his terrible music, and he's telling me I'm stacking the dishwasher wrongly. All the while, he's making me laugh by pulling silly faces, breaking into Fortnite dance moves, or challenging me to a tickle fight. Scott knows how devoted I am to him, and I've accepted that I will always share him with the other love of his life, his PlayStation." Well done, young lady. Well done. And Scott said of Gillian, "Gillian, you have always been there for me. You always know how to make me smile. You look after me and make me so happy to have met you. You are now the top chef in the house, thanks to my training. I am very thankful for everything you do for me. You always look beautiful, every day, any time of the day, no matter what. And yes, I am punching big time. Thank you for putting up with me and my silliness and my gaming. Can't wait to what awaits us in the future. I love you, and I will always be there for you." Well done, sir. And that, dear friends and relatives, is a very abridged story of Scott and Gillian's relationship to date, with the next chapter of their life together about to commence in front of your very eyes. So at this point, can I now ask Scott to step forward, as he has a reading to recite on this auspicious occasion. On you come, Scott.
Love isn't always perfect. It isn't a fairy tale or a storybook, and it doesn't always come easy. Love is overcoming obstacles, facing challenges, fighting to be together, holding on, and never letting go. It is a short word, easy to spell, difficult to define, and impossible to live without. Love is work, but most of all, love is realising that every hour, every minute, and every second was worth it because you did it together.
Well done. Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Marvellous. This marriage, it will join two people who trust the love that they have found. It is a partnership in which each can grow and be their true selves while sharing in the development of each other. But the marriage ceremony provides an opportunity for you, their family and friends together in one place, to impart this message of love and commitment, and for everyone to celebrate the happiness of the married couple. Gillian is so pleased that her mother and father, Shona and Stephen, are here to see her walk down the aisle to marry the man who means so much to her. She's also elated that her wee sister Leanne is her maid of honour, while her bridesmaid is one of her best friends, Rachel, and you're both looking absolutely resplendent. She could ask for no finer ladies to be by her side today. Well done. Gillian's other best friend, Lindsay, was going to be another bridesmaid up here, but she's at the back there as she's heavily pregnant and is amongst you. And due anytime. But Gillian wanted to acknowledge her contribution, along with Leanne and Rachel, to Gillian's preparation for this great day. And Scott is also pleased to have his mother, Jackie, and dad, Henry, present to see him move on to their chapter in his life. His sister, Nicola, and brother, Kyle, are also here, and Scott is delighted they are. Scott's best man is Jamie, while his ushers are Kyle, Jamie, and Craig. And have collectively managed to get Scott here in time, sober and in one piece, which is always an advantage at a wedding, rest assured. It is also very, very right and fitting that on today of all days, both Gillian and Scott would like to mention several other people who, although they have passed on, are in their thoughts today. And they are Gillian's Papa John, and Scott's Gran Betty, and his dear father, David. But we're surrounded by Scott and Gillian's family and friends. Some of you have known them entire lives, and some for a shorter period. But no matter how long or in what circumstances, you all form the community within which this marriage will be lived. Now, Scott and Gillian are going to exchange personal vows in just a couple of minutes' time. But prior to that, they'll have they'll have a traditional Scottish handfast. I will be placing ribbons round their joined hands as a way of confirming their union. Scott has chosen a Loch Tay tartan ribbon, while Gillian has chosen a ribbon made from a length of material from her wedding dress. So excuse me for a few seconds. If you put your hands forward, Scott, and if you put your hands on top, Gillian. If you knit that there, sir. No worries. And if you knit that there. Now remember, you're not pulling her off her feet.
I know that. Don't worry.
And you're making sure the knot's tied before you make that soul tie. Right, you push your finger. Knit that there. And tie that there. Brilliant. Now, a handfast is an ancient Scottish marriage ritual. And if you ever wondered where the expression tying a knot came from, you're about to find out. It's a symbolic way of showing that they're joined to one another. And although originally the idea was you were only betrothed for a year and a day with a handfast, Scott and Gillian's handfast will be for life. Because today you marry your friend, the one you have laughed and cried with, the one you've learned from and shared with, the one you've chosen to support, encourage and give yourself to through all the days given to you to share. Today you marry the one that you love. Because these are the hands of your best friend, strong and full of love for you, that are holding yours on your wedding day, as you promise to love each other today, tomorrow, and forever. And these are the hands that will countless times wipe the tears from your eyes. Perhaps some tears of sorrow, but plenty of tears of joy. And lastly, these are the hands that even when wrinkled and aged, will still be reaching for yours, still giving you the same unspoken tenderness with just a touch. Knit the ribbon, step back, separate your hands. Keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. That's you, soul tire. Soul tire. Just lower your side a bit. That's it. As this knot is tied, so your life's now bound. Woven into this ribbon, into its very fibres, are all the hopes of your friends and family, and of yourselves for your new life together. So hold it safe as a symbol of your individual love for the other, and in respect of your joining. Ladies and gentlemen, a Scottish handfast. As you can see, they have in fact tied the knot. Thank you. We now come to the focal part of this ceremony, when Scott and Gillian will make their vows to each other and exchange rings. And the rings will be a symbol of the unbroken circle of love and will become a part of you and remain on your hands for the lifetime of your relationship. Your hands will age, the rings will wear, but the symbolism the ring embodies and the bond that you two share will be there forever. They're also a reminder to the giver of the promises that you make today. And each simple band may not be of great value in itself, but it's made precious by your wearing of it. Jamie, will you now hand Scott Gillian's ring in order for Scott to make his vows to Gillian? And if you present your left hand, Gillian. Scott, please repeat after me. Gillian, here in the presence of her family and friends.
Gillian, here in the presence of her family and friends.
I promise to love you.
I promise to love you.
And to care for you.
And to care for you.
During our journey together through life.
During our journey together through life.
I will be your partner.
I will be your partner.
Your love and your best friend.
Your love and your best friend.
I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
As a token of my love for you.
As a token of my love for you.
And as I give you my hand to hold.
As I give you my hand to hold.
I give you my heart to keep.
I give you my heart to keep.
Push that ring on, sir.
There you go.
Jamie, will you now hand Gillian Scott's ring in order for Gillian to make her vows to him?
Yeah. Here's my lovely sausage fingers.
Gillian, please repeat after me. Scott, here in the presence of our family and friends.
Scott, here in the presence of our family and friends.
I promise to love you.
I promise to love you.
And to care for you.
And to care for you.
During our journey together through life.
During our journey together through life.
I will be your partner.
I will be your partner.
Your love and your best friend.
Your love and your best friend.
I give you this ring.
I give you this ring.
As a token of my love for you.
As a token of my love for you.
And as I give you my hand to hold.
And as I give you my hand to hold.
I give you my heart to keep.
I give you my heart to keep.
Push that ring up. Go for it.
Nice and easy, you know. I know.
And keep holding both hands now, please. Because Scott, it's now time to make your official legal declaration to Gillian. And again, repeat after me. I, Scott Herkes.
I, Scott Herkes.
Accept you, Gillian Sheila Downey.
Accept you, Gillian Sheila Downey.
To be my lawful wedded wife in marriage.
To be my lawful wedded wife in marriage.
Gillian, please make your official legal declaration to Scott. And again, repeat after me. I, Gillian Sheila Downey.
I, Gillian Sheila Downey.
Accept you, Scott Herkes.
Accept you, Scott Herkes.
To be my lawful wedded husband in marriage.
To be my lawful wedded husband in marriage.
Following the declarations made before me and in front of all you witnesses, it is now my very pleasant duty, Scott and Gillian, to declare you married and pronounce you husband and wife. Please kiss the bride.
And though I'm really
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Stephen, I'm Gillian's dad, and I'd like to welcome you all here today to celebrate this very special occasion, the marriage of my daughter Gillian to Scott. I must say that everyone's looking so smart and well turned out today, but extra special mentions must go to the two elegant bridesmaids, Leanne and Rachel, but most of all to the mothers of the bride and groom, Shona and Jackie, who both look truly fantastic. I know that many of you have made very long, difficult and expensive journeys to be here, and that commitment is deeply appreciated. But even if you've simply just wandered down from nearby Larkhall or Stonehouse, I'd like to sincerely thank each and every one of you for taking the time and making the effort to come along today. I would also like to thank all the staff at Radisson Hotel for making everything run so smoothly, and also Sandy Geddes for the lovely ceremony, despite the fact he stole half my speech. Anyway, without much further ado, I'd like to say a few quick words about my dear daughter. Hopefully, these words will give you a small insight into her life and personality, and also how we have arrived at where we are today. Gillian was born the 5th of October 1990. She was a happy, healthy baby and toddler, and in a blink of an eye, she was standing there in line for her first day at school. Understandably, there were a lot of apprehensive kids there that day, but always remember how proud and confident Gillian looked. And when the teacher called the kids in, she gave us a quick wave, a great big smile, and off she marched into class as happy as Larry, her wee high pony bouncing from side to side. That set the tone for the next 13 years. Gillian enjoyed school. She made many good friends. She always received glowing praise from her teachers, and ultimately she attained excellent grades. When Gillian left school, she never really showed much interest in going to university, despite very much having the qualifications to do so. When the deadline was fast approaching for applications, I asked her if she's going to be applying for any degree studies soon. Otherwise it was going to be too late. I'll always remember her answer. It was as profound and thought-provoking as it was articulate. "Nah," she said, "it's a load of shite." Gillian had had enough of full-time education by that time, and going to university for a further 4 years never appealed to her at all. After that summer had passed, Gillian enrolled in an HNC course in Administration and Information Technology at South Lanarkshire College. The college was both local and within walking distance, and along with her evening and weekend job in Primark, it kept her ticking over nicely until she was ready to set out on a full-time career. After successfully attaining her HNC, Gillian was all set to go back to college for a second term to study for her HND when she applied for and was offered a job in South Lanarkshire Council. She accepted this offer, which initially was in the old Athol House near the town centre, and has now been working there for 13 years. It's very rare to hear anyone being over-complimentary about their job these days, but I've seldom heard Gillian complain about her work. She just gets on with it, she's done well, she'll continue to do well, and I'm sure she'll be there for many more years to come. Gillian never actually came to me and Shona one day and says, "I've got a new boyfriend and his name's Scott." It wasn't like that at all. They had somewhat overlapping social circles, and we used to hear a lot of names get mentioned here and there, but Scott's name started getting dropped into the conversations more and more, so much so that one night when Gillian was out, I said to Shona, "Do you think Gillian and Scott are a couple?" Shona had been thinking along the same lines as me, and indeed they were. I remember the first time Gillian brought Scott around to her house. I noticed immediately how relaxed and comfortable they were together, despite having known each other for such a relatively short period of time. They made one another smile and laugh constantly, and it was blatantly obvious that they completely adored each other. They looked a perfect match right from the very beginning. The romance blossomed, and 5 years ago, they bought their first home together in West Mains. I remember the day Gillian moved out. It was a Sunday evening, and after grabbing the last of her belongings, she waved us goodbye and excitedly strode up to her car and on to the next phase of her life. It took us a little bit of time to get used to how quiet her house had suddenly become. Gillian creates a constant buzz when she was in the house, but now her singing, dancing, humming, music, TV, and all her general toing and froing were gone. It was quite eerie. But Dunbar Hill was home, sweet home for Gillian and Scotland now, and we couldn't have been more pleased for them. Gillian loves her cosy wee place, and I'm sure that they'll both be sad to leave it behind when they eventually decide to move on. Gillian has many interests in life. Amongst a host of other things, she's an avid reader, like her mother. She loves curling up on the sofa and watching a good drama series on TV, like her mother. She enjoys a bottle or three of Prosecco and a night out with her pals, like her mother. She can also be found keeping in shape at CrossFit most days of the week, a pursuit she enjoys and shares with Scott. I believe there's some people here today who met Gillian at CrossFit, and they must have thought for a fleeting moment earlier on that they wandered into their own wedding, because, quite interestingly, Gillian's not known as Gillian when she's there. At CrossFit, she was long ago rechristened as Sheila. Hopefully this information will save any confusion that may occur later on when you hear someone calling the bride by her alter ego. Just over 3 years ago, I was out cutting the grass one Saturday morning when I saw Scott walking down the path to our house. It was unusual for him to be without Gillian, so I was a little surprised to see him. He approached me and he asked my permission for Gillian's hand in marriage, which of course I was delighted to give. Leanne knew this visit was coming off, so off she went with Scott and to the Argyll Arcade to help him choose the engagement ring. That ring was given to Gillian and Scott when Scott proposed to her while they were on holiday in San Francisco a couple of months later. We have a truly remarkable photograph of Gillian in the house, which was taken by Scott in the moments after receiving her engagement ring. I have honestly never seen her look so happy in her life. She was absolutely bursting with joy. That day was genuinely a fairy tale moment in her life. Which leads us nicely to today. Gillian's a fantastic girl. She's warm, friendly, funny, confident, intelligent, beautiful, you name it, she's got it. And when I saw her the first time in her wedding dress today, it took my breath away. She's absolutely everything I could have dreamed for a daughter of mine to be, and I'm so proud of the woman she has become. Finally, I'd like to say a few words about Scott. I'm sure his best man is champing at the bit to do a proper job on him, so I'll keep it brief. From the very first moment I met Scott, it was obvious he was a good, sensible lad. He doesn't take himself over seriously, he's easygoing, he's trustworthy, he's hardworking, he's got a great sense of humour, and it's obvious that Gillian utterly adores him. I know that he would lay down his very life for Gillian if needs be, and I couldn't have wished for a better husband for her. Scott, I'd like to welcome you to our family. So that's really all I've got to say, folks. All I've got left to do is now ask you please to be all upstanding and raise your glasses to the happy couple.
I want to do it as well. I know I'm laughing.
They say a person just needs three things to be happy in this world. Someone to love, something to do, and something to hope for. They have this, and they have much, much more. May they have a long, happy, and fulfilling life together. Ladies and gentlemen, the bride and groom. Thank you.
And now for the main man himself, who, considering it was in downtown till 4 a.m. this morning, is looking remarkably fresh. Is that you just finding out about that, Jill? Just kidding. Can you put your hands together for the groom?
What a gas, man.
Thanks, Richie. Okay, so I'm not going to take much of your time today, guys. I'm just going to be very brief. But there's a few things a bride and groom should say and share on their big day. So, on behalf of my wife and I, here we go. I'd like to thank everyone for coming today. It means a lot for both to have all our family and friends here with us on a special day. We really appreciate the effort everyone has made, so thank you very much for that. I'd personally like to start off by thanking my father-in-law now for giving me the permission taking on the role of loving and protecting his daughter. I know how important Gillian is to you and Shona, and I promise always to make your daughter my top priority and never leave her side. Mum and Dad, I want to thank you for always being there for me with love and support. You've always allowed me to make my own decisions in life and been there to pick up the pieces when it falls apart. I appreciate everything you've done for me, and I love you both very much. Are you crying again? I also would like to thank Stephen, Shona, my mum and dad for their contribution for this big day. It's very much appreciated, guys. It really is. Thank you very much for that. And Shona and my mum, you guys have done so much for us over the years, the build-up, everything to this. So, from me and Gillian, just a wee thank you for you. You're just crying again, man. Seriously, you can't keep crying. That's for you. What's that? Nah, you get no dinner, by the way. That's your dinner. That's fine. You alright with that? You alright? Okay. Don't hide behind the flowers. Everyone, can you please put your hands together for Gillian's bridesmaids, Leanne and Rachel, who I'm sure you'll all agree are looking stunning today. I want to thank them all for the support they've given Gillian to making sure she's had a wonderful wedding day. I'd also like to thank Lindsay, as many as you'll know. She was also meant to be a bridesmaid, but she is heavily pregnant and we're waiting, but she is here today. Thank you very much. Really, we are thankful for everything you've done, for taking part, being here, being everywhere, to be honest, and making sure Gillian has got a smile on her face. Also to the bridesmaids as well, and Leanne for organising Gillian's hen do. I'm sure all you guys had fun, and I want to thank all Gillian's friends for being there for her, because she appreciates it and loved it. And my mum says she'll do a wee karaoke tonight with that Fry Out song later on. You want to do that now? No, to the groomsmen, thank you very much, guys, for everything you've done over the years for me. You've always had my back, and we've always had each other's back, and we've always been there for each other. My best man, Jamie, thanks very much for taking part in the role of being the best man and standing by my side today. I'm truly grateful for everything you've done for me and over the years. Also for planning the away and home stags. I'm sure everyone involved enjoyed it, and we had very, very good memories, which we'll keep between us. But all the guys, everyone, I really appreciate all the lads making the effort, no matter what it was. It's really appreciated for that. So, I'd like to turn everyone's attention to this gorgeous lady sitting next to me. I'm sure you all agree Gillian looks beautiful today. Me and Gillian have had some amazing times together. We've travelled to Florida, Mexico, West Coast America, a lovely hotel in Glasgow, remember that?
No, yeah. Terrible.
No. Thanks.
Faulty Tower.
It was Faulty Towers, sorry. But me and Gillian have got loads of stories, loads of memories, and they're brilliant, and there's loads to tell, but there's always one that always sticks with me, and it's all about the time we went to Florida.
Oh, no.
So, as you know, Gillian loves pictures, like Stephen will know as well, because we've had a photo shoot in the Mata Hari once, like full-scale photo shoot. So, it's been great. Now, a lot of people have seen this photo of Gillian in Florida. What it was is Island of Adventure. You scan it, at 10 seconds, you take the photo, and that's it. You have to wait in a queue, and that's what it is. Easy enough. So, me and Gillian waiting in the queue for ages, like, oh, come on, hurry up. We just came off a water ride, moaning at me, oh, can't be bothered. I was like, right, come on, we'll get it done. Get up to the line, all of a sudden, this wee boy just in the picture. I'm like, what's going on? She goes, what's going on? Skip the queue, taking it with her phone. I was like, all right, okay, no worries. Fine, we'll do it again, scan it again. Scanned it again. Didn't think about it. You get it 24 hours later, you get the photo. 24 hours later, I get an email, and I'm sitting going, what's this wee boy's hand? And then I zoom in, the more I zoom in, all of a sudden I seen Jill's face, and I have never seen a face like thunder in my life. This face was just like pure. Like, can you reenact it for us? No. No, right. But it's one of the funniest photos ever. It goes around that, like, it's on my favourites photo. It's the one I've seen and I go, oh my God. But I'm really, really happy, Gillian, and just so lucky to be with you. And again, yes, I am punching. You look beautiful today, tomorrow, and every other day. And I'm proud to call you my wife. And I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. Before I pass you on to Jamie, I'll get a few toasts to do. So if you could be standing, please, for this one. First of all, first toast is to my Gran Betty and my father David, as you never met my dad, but he would have loved you, but they would have been loved to be here today. So if you lift the glass, to absent friends. Last one, sorry, easy one. And a toast to my beautiful wife. Now, you're probably going to kill me for this, but I'm going to do it anyway. So, if you can raise a glass to Sheila. Sheila! Thank you very much. Thanks, mate.
And now for the man who put together a fantastic away stag in Magaluf, a fantastic home stag in Pop World. He was also out till 4 a.m, a quiet night in. He is the best man. Can you put your hands together for Jamie Farwell?
So, time's come. The reason why we're all actually here today. Or certainly the reason why I'm here. So, first of all, for those of you who don't know me, my name's Jamie, as Richie mentioned, or Farwell to most who do know me. I have known Scott now for 28 years, give or take. We started Primary 1 together in Heather Now, where our friendship blossomed from there. And we continued to blossom. We continue to be friends ever since, and it's an absolute honour for me to be standing up here today. Now, when I think about me standing up here today, and I look at all the people in this room, and I think, why has he picked me? And then I'm reminded when I look around the room again, this is why he picked me. So, as I said, and as Richie mentioned, again, for those of you who don't know me, as Jamie or Farwell, and for the wags in the room, I am the guy with a spreadsheet that organises the stag do's. And if any of you want to know anything that happened on them, buy me a drink, I'll sing like a budgie. So a little bit of a disclosure leading into this speech. I may be heckled by a few boisterous children today in the audience. It's just like an ongoing thing, animals for friends. So it's like the zoo in here, so don't feed them, but or don't entertain them, alright? If anybody shouts or says anything, just ignore them. For some of these people in here, this is the first wedding they've been invited to. And for others, you'll usually hear or see them until the bar opens, then they'll likely disappear because that's what happens. Their time. Well, everyone knows who I am and who to avoid at the bar later, but let's turn to why we're here today. Scott and Gillian. Gillian, you look absolutely incredible. And I'm not just saying that because I have to. But you do a lot to put up with Scott. I know, I've done it for 28 years. Jackie and Henry are agreeing. No, you do, you look absolutely brilliant. You look lovely, lovely. And your bridesmaids as well, who have got you through today as well. Let's have an all-round applause for them as well. Sorry, I need to switch over to my different page now. It's very 2022 in this. So to prepare Scott for today, as Richie the Grass mentioned there a minute ago, myself, Scott, Henry the groomsman and some other friends met down for a nice meal last night. I was responsible for getting Scott home. So after a curry, we watched the football and Kellyanne came picked us up around 10:30, Richie. This is where we went home, we reflected on our evening, and we looked forward to the next day.
Well put.
At least my hangover doesn't say that. But. So on to about, Scott's organisations. For those of you who know Scott, Scott is honestly the most organised person you've ever met in your life. Like, genuinely, everything is the most organised. I'll tell you how organised he was. One time, we were heading off down to Alton Towers. Scott, with his little saxo, screaming up to the house an hour early. We're like, right, okay, make sure we're up. Like, right, okay, we're going to get up, Scott, don't worry. And as we get downstairs, on the table, there's 4 Polly Pockets. Like, what on earth is this? In each Polly Pocket was around 4 or 5 different bits of paper. And we were all asked to sit down and have a read and a look through them. Well, he organised some drinks for the drive. I don't know what he was doing. So Kellyanne, myself, a few others looked through it and we were like, okay, opened it up to find a complete itinerary for going to Alton Towers. Inside the itinerary had average queue times. It had what rides and what time we were going to go on them. It also had a Google Maps printout for the directions that he was going to be taking when he's driving. Absolutely no idea why. So, yeah, just a little bit of an insight of how organised they can be. So, I'm so sorry for some of this. I should have apologised at the start. Scott's organisation goes beyond trips to Alton Towers, and over the years, as I've decided to fly by the seat of my pants through life, and Scott's just been as organised as ever. Organised and organised, it became a bit anal, and he's also continued to be organised. I just very quickly slid that one in. He didn't. Well, look.
Just get back a page, didn't
you? Just on Thursday, as we talk about how organised Scott is, just on Thursday he came round to the grooms, every one of our houses, all the groomsmen, to make sure that we could try on our kilts, make sure we hadn't got any fatter, and to ensure that we were all looking good for the day. Upon reflection, Scott, I want to apologise. because it seems like nobody done that for you. During this sit down that Scott did, where he basically dressed us in front of us in my living room, he sat me down and with a firm voice he said, "Farwell, there's some things that you can't mention in the speech." So Scott's known me for a long time and he knows how loose my tongue can be. So he sat, and this conversation was followed by a list of things that he told me I wasn't able to say in the speech. I'll be honest, I didn't really listen to any of them and I don't really know what they were. So I'll apologise just now if any of them are in here, Scott. As he stood up, Scott patted me on the shoulder and he handed me an envelope. And I thought, shit, what's he doing? Is he paying me off? This was followed by a little word of advice. He said, "Farwell, I know how unorganised you can be. So if you struggle, then I have wrote you some bullet points to get you out of trouble if you're stuck for things to say." So I'm going to be honest, my hangover is catching up on me. So, Scott, I'm going to go with these wise words. This is the first time I'm seeing these as well, so. Gillian has got a point in here where he said, "Please tell Gillian that it's still okay for me to game when I'm a husband." So I think we covered that. I think we all agree with that. What else have you got down here, Scott? How great I was at football. Okay, I'll give this a try. Scott's football career, will we say it was cut short? Yeah, I mean, he played for St Mirren, I think, once. Used to get put about in the football. I don't know. Honestly, if I'm completely honest, Scott trained better than he played. And he didn't train that often. But he was actually hampered in his football career by his big paddle feet. And if any of you haven't seen Scott's feet before, he has the biggest, flattest feet you've ever seen in your life. When he jumps into a pool, I'm not kidding, he's like a merman. He just goes for it, man. Gillian, a little bit of advice for you. And this is from advice that we've taken from his football coaches. Tonight, as you're upstairs, doing what you may be doing, do what Scott's football coaches did. Put them in a couple of positions, all right? If it's not working, pull them off. What else you got from here, Scott? So, I used to be a fishmonger.
Oh, all right.
Not a lot of people know this, but in leaving school, one of Scott's first jobs was he was a fishmonger in Morrison's. I can hand and heart tell you, when he used to come out of there and try and meet us anywhere, he absolutely stunk of fish. He stunk of fish. And there was one time Scott was out in his wee sack, so thankfully he'd washed after this one. We went down to Bray Heads, being a bit of a rascal, and one of the boys in here, as we were running about the shopping centre, pushed me, innocent bystander, into one of the paintball stands that were standing there. We wiped the thing clean out. It went absolutely everywhere. At that point, security were a wee bit interested in what we were up to the point where they decided that they'd call the police to come have a wee chat with us. So, as we stand up there, the police are lining us up against the wall to find out what's going on, who done it, who broke it. It became apparent that our friends have pretty strange jobs. So started off actually relatively normal, where we went, Sean, electrician, McCash, electrician, came to me and I was working in a warehouse. And then as the police moved down, they went to Craig next, which was disturbing at best. And Craig then addressed the policeman with, "What's your occupation?" "I'm a semen specialist." Still is. At which point the police didn't know what to say, didn't know where to look, and when they did move on to Scott and he told them he was a fishmonger, I honestly nearly left myself, if I'm honest. So yeah, some interesting stuff in there. Okay, give me a second to move on to my next bit. Okay, it wouldn't be a best man speech if I didn't mention the away stag in Magaluf. There's a few nervous bellies in here now. So, I mean, if I told you all in front of you that we flew to Palma, we went to Magaluf, we drank cocktail trees with sparklers in them during the day, we drank some more cocktails with sparklers in them at night, and then Richie sang us in karaoke all evening, you'd probably say, Farwell, you're full of shit. I'll be honest, that's exactly what we did in Magaluf. I don't think any of us, unless you're John, who's not here yet, managed to drink for 2 days. Scott certainly didn't. Scott was sitting hugging a toilet at one point. Loads of regretful life choices. And the only other thing on that is the girls, showgirls send their best and say they wish you all the best in marriage. A few hands on heads here, a few nervous. I'll leave it at that for the stag do. So roasting Scott wouldn't be complete if I didn't mention the sheer size of his head. The only reason Scott doesn't fall over when he walks is because of those ridiculously sized paddle feet that he has keeping him up. I think he used to have arches in his feet. As his head's got bigger and weighed more, they've just started to fall in on themselves. So I'm really sorry. Scott, I mean, we're laughing just now, but this has actually affected Scott through his life. He's had to have a specially made hard hat for work. Turkish barbers charge him twice. Hair problems. Enough about his big head. Okay, I'll wrap it up, Scott. I think I've been polite up to this point. I am now standing in the way of all yous and your dinner just now, so some of yous need a good meal. Some advice for yous both. Scott, for you, my friends, happy wife, happy life. All right. Do your toes when you're told. That's basically what this is. And Gillian, to you, whatever medication you're on just now to put up with Scott, please continue to take it. Right, because none of us in here could do it. Anyway, okay, I've rambled on enough, guys. If you're able and well, could I please ask everybody on their feet, glasses in hand. To an absolute magical day. Scott and Gillian, I wish you all the health and happiness in the future, and let's rock on for tonight. Bride and